planning. That's how we roll on here with the Domino's post-game report. Coach, obviously not the performance you wanted to see from your team today, falling by 8 points, but let's start off with the positive. Braylon Weichel gets the scoring record. We knew that would happen at some point. It was a matter of when. What was it like to see her get going early on, but then also get the record and do it in a way where she had a really good day at the office, and it was a mostly fitting way for her to get it?
Yeah, I mean, you're doing it away from home, which is unfortunate. But, you know, we needed her, obviously, especially at this point in time, we need her to be a big-time offensive threat for us. And, you know, she didn't have a great game the last time out was Saginaw, scored 14, didn't have a great second half, obviously at Anderson, and then tonight to see her come out. And we needed every point that she could provide for us with us only scoring 68 points. So glad to see her do it. Period. It's an amazing record, and I'm glad I've been around to see all these games and to see all these performances. I'm glad I've been her coach. I mean, it's like I told them in the locker room, she's one of the most consistent basketball players, men or women, that I've ever been around in my life, just from a performance standpoint and from a mental standpoint. You almost always know what you're going to get out of her, and what we got today is what I've seen many, many times before.
Looking at this game and how it played out, it started off well, had a 7-point lead early on. Glenville makes a run there in the second quarter to get the lead. You take it back, though, but then they went on a 9-0 run that went into the locker room. And then in the second half, you never got back within a possession. How did that 9-0 run give them more life than you, and how that played a role in this game?
Well, I think, you know, we came up here for a reason, and that was to get better. You know, we didn't go and try to find somebody that we could play that was going to be a guaranteed victory. I mean, we knew it was going to be tough to get all the way up here, come on their home floor where, you know, they've won a bunch of games, haven't lost a ton, and they play the system. They play the style of play, and I wanted to see if we could handle that. And for the most part, we handled it okay from a turnover perspective. But we just, you know, they get you sped up, they get you out of your sets, and we just didn't have enough players outside of Braylon to be able to make enough plays. I think Tori was the only other player we had in double figures. But they made some tough shots. And we've seen this time and time again with our team that where we miss a shot that was makeable, they go down, whether it's a tough shot or not, they make theirs. And then next thing you know, you find yourself down 5 at the half. And then, like I said, we came out, played a little zone there to start, and we realized that probably wasn't going to be the best thing for us. But we had moments in the second half that we almost got the game back within a possession, and I think we cut it to 4.
Yep,
was the closest we got it.
Multiple times.
And had opportunities to get stops, but credit to Glenville State, they stepped up. They have good foot speed. They have good one-on-one offensive players, and they don't, you know, they can get you on an island real quick and go and make tough buckets around the rim.
Well, I'll stay with the turnovers. You wanted to see how your team handled this full court and frenetic pace that Glenville State was going to throw at you. 20 turnovers. You actually scored more points off of their turnovers than they did. So did you like what you saw from how your team handled that pressure?
Yeah, I mean, you know, again, we came up here for our last out-of-conference game to get prepared for conference play. And, you know, nobody really plays this way or is as effective as they are. But yeah, I felt like that, you know, we only, turned over 20 times, 22 maybe.
20.
They're turning people over, I think, 36 times a game. The biggest issue I have is that we don't turn it over 36. We only turn it over 20 times. We outscore them on points off turnovers. The differential in second chance points was minimal, but we just don't shoot the ball well. You know, some other teams that have had success against them have shot the ball exceptionally well and still turned the ball over. So offensive ball control was good. Our offensive efficiency was not.
They didn't shoot it well either, despite you actually shooting better from 3. I think it was 27% to 22%.
Yeah.
But the area that sticks out the most is the points in the paint, 42 to 24. And it wasn't like they had anything inside that you didn't. They just made more of the bunnies, it seemed, that your team didn't. How do you – is there a way to fix that or make those, or is it just a sense of when you're down there, have good concentration to make it?
I don't, you know, until I watch the film, I'm going to throw out a number, but I'm going to say that we had 5 layups under the rim. We also had those against Saginaw Valley. It's become a epidemic for us, so to speak. Like, we had opportunities. I'm talking point-blank layups. There might be people around you, but they're not necessarily guarded layups. And I don't know what it is. We're just not, I don't know. They're not trying to miss them on purpose, but maybe it's a lack of focus. Maybe the other team's speeding you up they're not a team that typically blocks a lot of shots. So, and we had told them that, but maybe they're just hurrying the shot so much, they just put a little bit more oomph on into it, or too much oomph on the backboard, and it pops off. They have different type of players to where they can go one-on-one a lot, and you see them make a lot of tough contested layups, even when we brought secondary defenders over. So, again, credit to them for making those. A lot of times our layups, if we're getting layups in the half court, come from Lindsay. And early on that we knew pretty quickly they were fronting and bringing a secondary defender on her. So that wasn't going to be a place that we got a lot of action. Final
question for you. Back on the road, you're 1-3 on the road this year.
Yeah.
Quick turnaround with Lincoln Memorial on Wednesday. What do you have to do between now and then to get ready for a Rail Splitters team that's had some success here early on?
Yeah, they're, 7-1.
Yep.
But I will give our team some credit. We're 1-3 on the road, and we've lost at 1 loss Georgia Southwestern. We've lost at 2 loss Anderson, which could easily be a 1-loss team. And then you come up to Glenville State and play a high-pressure, high-octane type team like them and fall by 8. So, it's not like we've gone on the road and lost to somebody that we definitely should have beaten. I mean, we've lost to 3, in my opinion, pretty good teams. So we'll build off of it. We're 8-3, 2-1 in the league. Go to LMU. It's a rivalry game. They've been playing well this year for sure, and I think they have a game tomorrow maybe, or Monday, I believe it is. But as always, it'll be a tough test. Every time we take the floor this year, I feel like it's going to be a tough test, and just got to figure out who we can get out on the floor to kind of help us offensively more so than what we're getting right now.
Best of luck on Wednesday.
Thank you, Randy. Appreciate it.
That's head coach